good afternoon, and good evening to our esteemed navigators from wherever you are watching us from. This is your favorite program, the Confab, where we discuss trending topics from all over the world. Matters arising both in politics, in the daily life, as we as Nigerians, and all other related topics. Welcome to your favorite show. I still remain myself, Ayomikun, AY for short. And with me here, I have a very important and a special guest, a barrister to the call. Before you're going to hear from him, with me I have
I remember myself LEXPOSIMI Lex Posimi. Welcome to the Confab today.
and the distinguished guest of today.
I'm Olugbenga, Hansen, Ayoola. I want to thank the station for having me.
Yeah, Mr. Olugbenga, you are welcome to the Confab.
Thank you.
What we just do here is we discuss the trending topics. We discuss the trending topics of what is happening all over in our society, and we let our viewers share their opinions and their view about what is happening. So with that, we want to use this medium to appreciate our executive producer in the person of Deacon Michael Adiboye Ashaolu, and our producer, the person of Adenipekun Afolabi, your prince on
On
the
the show.
show, yeah, and the man behind the console, that's Abdul Salam Balogun,
Abdul
aka
Samad
Abdul Samad.
Balogun.
Samad.
It seems you want him to blur your face today. Abdul Samad Balogun,
Abdul Samad,
aka
Big
Big Balo,
Balo,
number one.
and we have the small Balo with him. We have the small Balo with him, a person of Festus, and we appreciate all other esteemed um, workers, in person of Olamide, Miss Folake, Anu, Chiamaka, and the rest of others. Thank you for everything you've done for us. So with that, let's go on a short break before we bring the topics we have to discuss here today. All right. Without wasting much of our time, we are going deep into the first topics we have today. It says that FG to phase out chalkboards by 2027. With education minister Olatunji Alausa made that nonsense. The purpose is that the plan of them is to eradicate the use of chalkboard in our secondary school, in our secondary school system. So it says further that the federal government will replace chalkboards with smart boards in all Nigerian schools by 2027. Education Minister Dr. Olatunji Alausa revealed this during a ministerial roundtable in Abuja, highlighting the administration's commitment to bridging the digital divide in education. From 2026, the annual school census will be fully digitalized. Over 60,000 tablets have already been distributed to students in Adamawa, Oyo, and Katsina under the EdTech, AWS, and BESDA programs, with 30,000 more expected soon. Alausa noted that Smartboard will enable interactive, technology-driven lessons, allowing students to engage actively with multimedia and digital content. He expressed concern over high dropout rates, revealing that out of 30 million pupils captured from 21 states on the Nigeria Education Management Information System (NEMIS), only 6 million reach secondary school. Digital's data will allow evidence-based interventions and better tracking of students, including biometrics for each child. Alausa also announced plans to integrate WAHEC and JAMB into NEMIS, and appreciated UNICEF and Bola Ahmed Tinubu for supporting the initiative. UBEC Executive Secretary Aisha Gaba confirmed that technology is now fully incorporated into teaching and school operations as part of digitalization of public education. The initiative to create a more dynamic learning environment, reduce reduce out of school rates, reduce dropout of school rates, and ensure every child, regardless of background, has access to quality education. Well, the Minister of Education has made this speech known that the plan of the federal government is for them to, eradicate the use of chalkboard, and replace it with the modernized smart board, where smart board are, well, now this brings me into this. They are planning to, to eradicate the use of chalkboards in school. I mean, this is Nigeria. We have the rural areas and we have the urban areas. I mean, how will this be, how will this be achieved? Because, well, let me leave our guest. Let me start from our guest. I'm going to ask this question first. It says that, do you think that Nigeria is fully ready to replace the chalkboards with smart boards by 2027?
There are so many things to unpack with regards to that initiative or the policy.
Really?
It's a very,
Really?
very ambitious policy. But there are so many things. We have to look at the motive. We have to look at how realistic is it. The first thing, as soon as you mentioned it, I went to research how many secondary school students we have in Nigeria. They said they have provided 60,000 across 2 states, Adamawa and Oyo State.
3 states.
Three states.
Adamawa, Oyo, and Katsina.
Now, 3 states, 60,000 cannot. I know that public schools, let's not even account for private schools. At last count, we had 13 or close to 14 million secondary school students in Nigeria, and that was back in 2021. And I'm
4 years later.
that is what I reported. I'm sure there will have been an explosion, there will be an increase. I'm just focusing on public schools, and that is just one side of it. And now the Ministry of Education does not even exist in isolation. We have a great challenge. Let's look at electricity alone. Let's not talk about internet connection. Yes, because we're talking about the rural divide. There are so many places, cities in Nigeria, towns that don't have 24 hours electrical supply. Some people, even in Elisha that we consider urban, does not have light 24 hours. Sometimes you don't have light in the mornings. I think in this studio they have brought, since they came, they have lost power. They have lost it a couple of times. And these are gadgets that need to be charged for all students, for all teachers. If you are instructing them with those chalkboards, with those computers, are they going to take it up? Because the method of instruction is you write on a chalkboard. Children
They get it live.
They can go and read it at home.
Yes.
Do they take it home? Do they charge it at home? What happens if there's no light at home? What happens if the students misplace it? Then how many at this place that they are going? If they are done 60,000 for 3 states, out of 14, let's even assume the number is 14 million. By 2027, even just by simple mathematics, can they get it across? Then there's an issue that is even how realistic is it? The question now is the motive behind it. Without insinuating that anybody has any criminal motive, I'm sure that I suspect. Let me not say I'm sure. That's just another way to give contract to somebody.
Somebody who has been good to the organization,
to the business, that presented a proposal. I want to sell you computers, and the policy will just be okay. Let's find a way to make money. I hope that's not the case. I'm not saying I don't want to say that, but is that it? It's a question we need to ask, because and we are looking at electricity. We are looking at digital supply, because this kind of project does not just involve the Ministry of Education. This policy involves the Ministry of Telecommunications, the people that are in charge of the information technology,
and by extension, power.
You're looking at the Ministry of Power. There are so many layers to this thing that only one arm of government can just say that they are going to do it, and UNICEF, and they are not going to put it on UNICEF. And at the pace they are going, I don't think they can get it. Then the student population will continue to increase.
Absolutely.
Then they mentioned out of school students. What does bringing computers?
How does it encourage out of school students back to school?
So those are the questions we need to ask ourselves. I don't mean to be overly critical, but since the question has been posed, it has to be answered as honestly as possible. And I feel like if you are being sincere, that is not the next step. It's good. It's a laudable policy, but within the context of Nigeria, there are foundational issues that need to be addressed with, like electricity, like even food for these children. Basic needs have not been. Then the chalkboard and writing system has proven to be effective and inexpensive.
I mean,
I think we should stick with it.
I'm sorry for even cutting you in. most of our universities, yeah, are provided with this smart boards of a thing. I
No,
mean,
is
no, I'm.
is that is that a can that be founded? Is that like is that a certain statement? You said most of our universities,
Our
because
Yes.
I
universities,
attended
our universities,
one of Nigerian federal universities, and we don't
Oh,
we don't have.
yeah.
So to say most of, that would mean that for sure 60%, at least
at least
Okay.
51%.
at
Okay.
least 51%, yes,
Even
at least
okay.
51%
Okay.
has
Sorry.
it.
Okay. You said 51% has it. Even that 51% has it. How many schools can proudly boast that the smart boards are really really working in their universities? Because I attended one. I attended the university. I mean, and we have couples of smart boards in school, but I won't lie to you. We have about 1,500 students in one.
Let's not even complete the issue.
No, no.
The issue is the issue. In secondary schools, they want to equip.
Yes.
It will be more realistic to even try universities because universities have a lower population. Then at least when I
And they
don't
have more matured
I don't
audience.
if yes they can take their system zone and they can take their most students even have their
Uh,
systems of their own now. So it's more realistic in those settings. Beyond that, I don't know about now. I left school a while ago. I left OE in 2007. But at that time, power supply was relatively good. Is it the same? So if in a school where there's no power supply, it's realistic to think about, okay, you want to equip them with systems and stuff, and you can. But with secondary schools, it's ambitious and it's something they should look at. But 2027 is
it's too soon
not realistic, and they have to address other issues before they get to.
before they get to that point, yeah.
All right. Let me ask you this question. I'll still be talking about the rural schools and stuff on feeling like that. We have these schools that are lacking basic needs. Even that these chalkboards are not there. We can't find it in most schools. You can't find them in most public schools in some towns. But then they now saying that they want to eradicate the use of chalkboards with smartboard. How do you think that? I mean, what do you
I
think?
mean,
What's
one
the,
of
Just
it
demonstrates sorry, sir.
okay, please go ahead.
It just demonstrates that when the people in office are out of touch with what really goes
With
on.
reality, exactly. That's this is the kind of situation where they tell you go outside and touch grass, so you understand the realities on ground. One of the things, I think he has mentioned a lot of the things that need to be unpacked in this kind of situation. We can't talk about using modern gadgets without talking about the things that are around using modern gadgets. We all use phones, right? And a lot of the time, I think the lowest battery capacity that we have on phones these days are 3,000 milliamperes, right? If you have 3,000 on your phone, it means that you are very certain that your phone cannot last for 12 hours.
yeah.
You're very certain of that. And apart from that, these smart boards, you are not so certain that they come with batteries that they can retain power. They are probably going to be plugged into use, and that's another way to look at it. Now, I want to use our universities as example. Hardly do we have 5 universities in Nigeria, public universities, federal universities, for example, that are that can generate power by themselves. They still rely on IBDC, or they still rely on the general power that we have. Now, if that's the case, just like you mentioned, we've been here for this number of minutes, and we've already experienced the power outage twice. So, if we were in class and class was ongoing, are we going to have this same kind of problem? Meaning that before we get to the point where we talk about having smart boards in schools, we have to talk about having stable enabling environment for smart boards to even exist. Let's not forget that sometimes around I think 2011, during Aregbe Shola's regime
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Osun
yeah.
State, there was the idea of Okpoimo, and I am very certain
It's
that
another version of it.
yes, another
Another
version
version.
of it. I'm very certain that there were reports then that it didn't even last 3 months before students started jailbreaking the
The phone.
devices. They started jailbreaking the devices and they started using it for other things. So it was no longer for the purpose for which it was created.
Not to mention, it didn't even necessarily go around.
Mm.
No, exactly. It didn't even go around. So if that's the case, if we always have a mitigating factor in Nigeria, and that's what you mentioned earlier. The intention, the intention is not so clear, because right now, when I was in secondary school, there were times that we would go from class to class looking for chalk to use for our own lessons. So if that's chalk as cheap as it was,
Yeah,
That's inexpensive.
that's the
it's not very
cheapest.
expensive. Yeah.
That's the cheapest you can use in schools. If chalk as cheap as it was then, and I'm sure it's still the cheapest now, because we can't compare marker to what chalk is.
Yeah.
Chalk is still remains the cheapest, and I'm very certain that even now there will still be some schools where chalk are still scarce. Maybe the principal will have it in his office and he's not releasing it, and you have to go and write application and beg.
Back in 1992, when I was in JSS
Come on.
Grammar School, I was class captain. Chalk was an issue.
It was.
You have to go to Mister. You have to get me like.
You have to go and beg, to go and ask.
To go and go in the morning, expect during the first period. You have to like half of the class. Chalk. So if you get chalk, see the rest of your classmates, at least they could instruct you. Even if you could copy it down. What happens?
Yes. What up exactly? Now I think it would have been a very welcomed idea, because I think I attended Kunle Afolayan production, one of the online trainings, and one of the perks of that training was it comes with a tablet, and each time when it's time for class, you can always use the tablet to log in. There's an embedded app where you can always open, log in with your details, and then you can attend class, and it's personalized. Yes, if that's the case, I think that can still work for a while, but I don't think secondary school students.
Across Nigeria.
Yes, yes, this
They even understand. We are teachers. They don't even have enough teachers.
even if they have enough teachers, they have teachers that can actually function with.
With the smart.
So there has to be a training process for the teachers.
Exactly.
That's, you're just talking of what is even within the purview of the Ministry of Education. I'm still saying there's still that ministry.
That needs to be involved.
Before this works.
That needs to
And
be
you're talking
involved.
about a 2-year timeline. I don't
It's
see
a no. It's very
how-
very
I'm talking about
unrealistic.
1.5 because 2025 is as good as over. This is
It's
November.
done and
That's
dusted.
tomorrow. So it's just another ambitious project that will become something that will stride and didn't work. I'm sorry to say that, but I don't want to.
I mean, if we don't say the truth, who will?
So sorry. Thank you, Mr. Olugbenga Hansen, for that big contribution, and Alex, thank you so much. With that, let us quickly go on a very short break. So we dive into this second topic that we have for today. All right, thank you for still staying tuned and still joining us on this your show, Confab. We've talked about the FG trying to eradicate the use of chalkboards and to replace with the smartboard, which our guests here and Alex as well have done justice to that. Then we are moving to the second topic, which says media personality Theo shares the amazing transformation. Media personality Theo shares amazing transformation of a 33-year-old teacher after he became a lawmaker in Yobe State. Well, so it says that government. So I mean the online person said government money is sweet. I mean government money is sweet.
Of course.
Of course. His name is Lawan Musa Majakura, a 33-year-old primary school teacher who was crowdfunded by locals to contest for the House of Assembly seat in Unguru 2 constituency of Unguru local government area under platform of the PDP. He defeated the then Speaker of the Yobe State House of Assembly, Ahmed Miwa Lawan, who had held the seat for 20 years. Now, 20 years. I mean, I mean,
That's 510.
a single person holding an office
Well, it's
for more
not
than
new.
20
He must have
years.
been,
It's not
he must
new.
have been doing very
We
well.
or you must have held everyone captive.
Everyone active. So the picture now shows the picture showed where when he was still a primary school teacher.
Before and after.
Yeah, when he was still a primary school teacher, and when he
Uh,
resumed back into the office. I mean, he resumed in the office around 2023, and yeah, we are in 2025 now. And let us see the massive
transformation.
transformation
Mm.
that has been sparing up the media online since morning.
Esther was black and broke. But
But when
when
I
Esther
start
enter, no, when Esther enter State
okay,
House of Assembly, Esther bleach.
all right. With this brings me to these questions. It says the first one is that why does government money seems to change people's look faster than hard work ever could? Alex, let me hear you. Let me hear your opinion on that.
Well, okay, rich to laugh. But the truth remains that government money is always it always comes easy
Mm,
because you plus or minus you don't have to do a lot
just sit down in the
for
office.
you to earn a lot.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean,
I think I like that speech. You don't have to do a
a
lot
lot for
before
you
you
to
earn
earn
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
That is even if it's not the truth, even if it, all we've been seeing, because you see politicians who are fighting tooth and nails to get into political positions and
I
all of
mean, I
that,
think
waiting that they go do, even business people.
sorry. I think it was even yesterday we were even talking about our politicians the camping from PDP back to APC because we
And
want to see
start
how the
jumping up and
yeah.
down and all of that. The fact remains that you even see business people, right? They go into politics, and then I think there was one that was saying, "Oh, I became poorer when I became a politician, or when I joined politics, or when I started running for what was his name again?" I mean, they they try to downplay how much they earn. They come out and say, "Oh, our salary is not even up to anything, and we became poorer. We
Yeah.
did this one." Why? Okay, for example, the person that was defeated by this 33-year-old
Man.
established, the man that was defeated has been there for 20
20 years. I
years.
mean, what are you doing?
20 years. Let's not forget the likes of David Mark. David Mark was in the Federal House of was it Assembly
Yeah.
for 20, I think 24 years. He spent
Systems. I mean,
six terms in that house before he was defeated. He has been there since was it 1992 or something. He has been
Like
there.
1999 because it's the Fourth Republic. The Fourth
Yes,
Republic started in 1999.
he has been there consistent, and he kept returning to the house. And they will come out to say, "Oh, we are not making anything.
we
It's
became
nothing."
poorer.
And then
Became poorer as soon
as
as
soon
we
as
entered
we
the office.
entered,
So
because
we have to be careful in accusing people of things like that, so that we don't end up making defamation statements. For me, I think the best way to test what he's doing is ask his constituents, has he been doing
doing well.
what he was elected to do? As a lawmaker, has he been passing? The thing is, even let's assume that because of the economic improvements that he is able to got to that weight and he started wearing the clothes of glory. Let's even assume that transformation came from the money. I did a little research. A teacher, average secondary school teacher in Nigeria, public school, and between 50 to 80,000 a month. A lawmaker in Nigerians, 1 million. That's basic salary. Obviously, that's a difference in lifestyle.
Of course,
So there's even
a shift.
even if he was not stealing any money, if he's not taking anything that is not his,
There is more to spend.
he has more money, so there should be an improvement in his life too. But the major metric you can measure whether he's doing well or not is if his constituents are satisfied with him, not his weight. People will get bigger and smaller. That happens.
As time
Maybe
changes.
obesity, maybe medical condition, it may be biological, and it may be money, maybe the fact that okay, from 50,000 start making
To a million naira.
per month. That's a massive leap in personal income. So it may be that, and it may also be what you're insinuating that maybe he's making money that he didn't work for. But the people to ask, the people that are responsible are the constituents, and there's another chance in 4 years, provided the elections are free and fair. So I either allow him to
That's a
continue
good caveat. Provided it's free and fair.
so either allow him to continue in office or to fire him and get him back to maybe better than
To a primary
if
school
he can
teaching.
if the job is still available or not. I don't know, we'll see
No,
about that.
okay, sorry. Thank you, Barrister, for that. You say that we need to, ask the people of his constituency
We have to hold ourselves accountable
the
as voters. That's
okay.
what I'm trying to say. Voters we are responsible for what they are doing as they are. If we elect people in office but we choose not to vote, because many of us also stay home.
Political party.
Some of us are apathetic when it comes to our local
Yeah.
politics. You cannot complain about somebody ballooning in physical appearance and if not doing his job.
If you're not part of
If
the
you not
process.
register, if you know go come out and vote and now at least what I've seen is that at least that constituency has shown a level of political conscience in the sense that they saw that okay, this man has represented the constituency years, maybe has not
I
done
probably have not seen what he has been
Let's
doing.
get somebody
Let's change it.
within us. Somebody has
And they
ordinarily
crowdfunded,
and they can't
meaning
do
they
it.
were
I mean,
actively
they were
part
part
of
of
the
it.
of
So,
the
I
process.
mean, that's
that's extremely commendable. So if they feel like he's representing them well, that shows that they have the political gravitas to also withdraw him and so I'm glad that it's happening. At least it is who they put there. That they know should be lauded and
Thank you though for that statement. I want to even talk about the crowdfunded. I mean, if you cannot meet someone that is that is honest, there's no way you can assist the person back into the office, right? Like, he's definitely an honest person that you can, vouch for that. Okay, you go and represent us in this
Yeah.
office. I know that you are going to do well. So, sorry, it still brings me back to this question that although you said that we are supposed to owe the people,
I feel like they have done
account,
well. In the sense that they fired somebody that had a stranglehold
Yeah, it's on them,
and they put
and they
someone
did
else.
everything they can to make sure.
that is a lot of I wish we could borrow that in our communities sincerely. That tells us that if he is not doing well, they have what it takes
To bring him back home.
So, okay, sorry, sorry. It still brings me back to this question. It says that, do you still think that probably the people that that confounded him? I mean, let's not forget that he was put in power in 2023, and then
Yeah.
2023, I think the PDP is still the reigning party then.
2023 in the state or in the federal?
because it depends on the house.
Oh, okay,
The
maybe.
house depends on the government.
State house. It depends on the
Then-
government. Yeah.
If it's federal,
Yeah.
then Buhari was
It was
APC.
absolutely
So it
APC.
was
Yeah.
APC,
Yeah.
so APC, that's what we have now.
Okay,
Then
but
most of the northern states were APC, and I think UB was an APC government to the previous regime.
Regime. Yeah.
so I still want to ask this question that you've actually said it all, but then I still want a clear clarification that do you think that this man is still really is doing what he's
The only
supposed
people
to
that
do?
can answer that question are people that elected him. If
And
I say you can represent me,
Yeah.
I cannot be in Osun State now and be speculating as to whether people in UB are satisfied with what they are doing. In fact, even
Anything said here will be
you have
speculative.
to talk to the people who elected him, and you have to be fair, because there's a lot of propaganda too. When you have
Absolutely.
access to media, you can actually manipulate things. And some people will tell you that Osun State is basic. I'm not saying Osun State is not what it is, but it is the people of Osun State that I don't want want anybody else to speak for the people of Osun. So it's going to be irresponsible for me to speak for the people of UB. Those people have even taken ownership of what they did to me. Irrespective of party is impressive. If you can replace a career politician a 5 times
With a
It's
teacher,
primary
a
school
primary
teacher,
school teacher,
it tells me that
a young primary school teacher
primary
actually,
school-
it tells me
33-year-old,
that they have the capacity to actually enforce their will
on their leaders.
Okay, so let me ask this general question. Anybody can answer. Can an honest person, like in this political system of Nigeria, an honest person in Nigeria, like be vote into power, and can that person still remain honest in that same in that same political system?
It's relative. I think it's subjective. Let me put it that way, because honesty is inherent.
Yeah.
It's not a political attribute. It's not an attribute that comes with the post. You don't become honest because you became the governor. You become the governor either because you are honest, or you remain honest because you were honest before you even became the governor. So honesty is inherent. It's something that you learn, or that is a part of you before you go into governance. And if that's the case, if a lot of people are with um, they have what they abide with, or their modus, or the way they operate, the way they
They
live
have their
their
own moral
lives.
code.
Yes, they have their own moral code. Thank you. And if they stick by their moral code, I think there's no new position can change you.
Mm.
I
No.
disagree slightly with that. The thing is that honesty is a virtue, but it's not static.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day you have to recommit to honesty. You know, I used to think like this when I was young, that nothing can tempt you, nothing can. But you know, as realities change, for instance, you become a father, you have children to pay for, and you know, or somebody has something on somebody you
Oh,
love,
you. Mm-hmm.
somebody has an information on you. You now know that this, it's still always better to be honest. It's still honest is always the best policy. The highest ideal is that no matter whose ox is gold, you stay honest. But the thing is that even I'm talking about generally, I think that's politicians now. If you're elected as a honest person, you may come face to face with temptations that can challenge that honesty. So it's these are virtues that you have to commit to every day. Make a fresh commitment to integrity, to honesty, to sincerity every single day. Otherwise, you will drift. You cannot rely on the honesty of when you are in secondary school
Mm.
university.
Because new realities will change.
Yeah.
New.
And you cannot rely on the honesty of your school teacher that used to say, "Okay, I cannot take bribe from my students." When they
And
become
then you see
students,
bigger bribes.
you know that's what I'm
You
saying.
see Obasanjo kind of Ghana must go.
They send women to you, and there are different things. Everybody has their weakness. Everybody has
Absolutely.
Yeah,
the things that compromise. Sometimes they use women. Some people it's not even money that even gets people in trouble. Some men it's women. Some people it is different kinds of things. Some people it's the fact that you respect somebody and you don't want to offend. Some people when they trigger your religion, you
Hmm.
cannot just think straight anymore. So everybody has their
What
own.
triggers them?
So we have to be careful. The thing about honesty is that it's something, it's a virtue that we have to make a fresh commitment to every day.
all right, all right. I believe our listeners and our viewers, you can as well share your opinions on the topics we've discussed on Confab so far for today. Um, this brings us to the end of the program. We're still wishing our esteemed viewers a happy Friday. Like Lex used to we say, do not drink, do not drink while driving. I
Well, you
mean,
can try it now.
do not drink and do not
They say
drink
mess around and find
while
out,
so do
but
not
it's
drink
best not to.
yeah, do not drink and drive. Take good care of your health. And we will special thanks to our executive producer, the person of Deacon Michael Adeboye Ashaolu, and our producer, in person of Adeni Pekun Afolabi, the prince on the show, and the man behind the console, Abdul Samad or Abdul Salam.
Until they will blow your
But thank you
face.
for not blowing our faces today. Abdul Salam Balogun.
Abdul Samad.
Abdul Samad, sorry. Sorry. Abdul Samad. I'm very, very sorry, sir.
It's
Abdul
okay.
Samad Balogun, aka our big Balo, number one. Someone no.
Salem,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the small Balo is Mr. Fextus and all other esteemed.
I think special thanks to us should also go to our guest for today.
Yes.
He has done so much justice to he has put a lot of things in perspective that usually it's easy to not get them in perspective, but he has put a lot of things in perspective, and I'm sure our listeners and our viewers have I'm sure they had a good day listening to him talk, and they've been able to tap into one or two things from the wealth of his knowledge, from
Sorry,
his wealth of knowledge.
let me expose him a little bit.
Thank you for
Expose him.
having me.
Let me expose him a
Expose
little
him.
bit. Yeah, he's a barrister, like
Uh,
a
i-
lawyer.
It's obvious.
He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer to the core.
It's
Like
obvious.
a renowned lawyer.
I suspected.
I want to thank the station for having me too. Really
Yeah.
a very stimulating conversation.
You're welcome. But if we call you again next time, definitely you're great as us. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. For today that is the end of the confab. See you next time.